Welcome back to the Daily Dope Show. I'm your host, Brando, the, the Weed Commando. This is a couple of quick updates for Michigan. Um, so, I've been making videos about this ever since probably, I don't know, September. They've been trying to shut down all these dispensaries in Michigan. September 15th, I think, was the first deadline. Well, now we are in December. Well, we're not there yet, but in a couple of days it'll be December, and we have, literally 2 weeks before this deadline, a little over 2 weeks. And also, there's only 2 more weeks after that left in the legislative session that made that rule. So when what are they going to do? Are they just going to send out the raid vans on the 15th and start busting them? Well, apparently not. So we get this update here that says Michigan won't close unlicensed marijuana dispensaries before December 31st. Another victory for the hard fought people who are either A, still trying to get a license, or B, aren't really trying to get a license but just hanging out as long as they possibly can. And my heart goes out to them too, even though that, when the time comes they're going to have to shut down. It's not going to be a pretty day, but it is what it is, I guess. We have no choice but to deal with what the cards that are dealt with, and this is what we're dealt. So medical marijuana dispensaries will be able to continue operating while they wait for a state license until December 31st under an agreement reached Tuesday. Since September, the state has been trying to shut down the dispensaries that have been operating under temporary emergency rules while they wait for licenses from the state. But the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs has been thwarted by a combination of court rulings and the desire to make sure that enough dispensaries are licensed around the state to supply the nearly 300,000 medical marijuana card holders. As dispensaries have either gotten licenses or been denied license, the number of unlicensed dispensaries that are operating has dropped from more than 200 to 98, said Andrew Brisboe, director of the Bureau of Medical Marijuana Regulation. There are 40 medical marijuana dispensaries that have received a state license. The city of Lansing was one of the plaintiffs in a case to stop the latest dispensary shutdown, a deadline of October 31st. The city has been vetting applicants for 25 dispensary licenses and hopes to begin granting approvals for those dispensaries this week. The dispensaries can't get final approval for a state license until they have gotten the go-ahead from the community where they want to locate. So essentially they have to get this license process done in Lansing, and this is all because of Lansing they were fighting to get as many of the old dispensaries grandfathered in or what have you. And the city was, basically limiting the number of dispensaries, and there's just been this big thing going on. But when that finally got resolved, and the people that wanted to get licenses, the 25 dispensaries that still haven't got approval from Lansing, it's just because their process has been slowed down, and the state has kind of been acting like they've been willing to work with those people. But if you're just somebody who put in an application and is waiting for Lansing to come by and do an inspection, there's still a few people out there that are like that. I know there is. Quote, it's been an elaborate process, and the courts have said we can't give licenses until everyone goes through the appeals process, said Lansing City Attorney James Smirtka. At least 25% of my staff has been devoted to medical marijuana. Brisboe said the state is still trying to resolve the case before the state claims court, and promised not to close any of the unlicensed dispensaries before December 31st. On January 1st, the new administration of Governor-elect Gretchen Whitmer, an East Lansing Democrat, takes over, and the rules could change again. Quote, we're actively working, particularly with the city of Lansing, to resolve the case, so we're hoping for clarity's sake to get the issue resolved soon, Brisboe said. The agreement was announced during a meeting of the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. A a legislative panel that reviews or rejects rules on regulations set up by the state departments. The committee approved permanent rules Tuesday for the medical marijuana industry, which included a provision for home delivery of medical marijuana. We'll get to that in a minute. Quote, a licensed provisioning center has to have specific authorization from the department to do the delivery, the new thing that was approved, the home delivery. So they have to submit plans to us for that. So, now a couple of things that come to mind about this dispensary thing. Mainly, where are they going to get the weed to stay open for those extra 2 weeks? Is that still... I don't understand this. Everybody's supposed to have the stuff they sell is supposed to be through the regulated system. So I don't know. I would be careful out there, guys. That's all I'm going to say about that. But one more thing we're going to talk about on this video is the this whole home delivery thing. So this is kind of weird. This is a big change in policy if you look at how they word some of this. And I'm going to go ahead and go over this. This happened on Tuesday, November 27th. So Michigan lawmakers approved permanent medical marijuana licensing rules on Tuesday, including a provision to allow dispensaries to deliver the drug to card holders' homes. The regulations, which the state put into effect immediately following the vote from the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, largely mirror emergency rules already in place. But the authorization of home delivery is new. Licensed shops will be able to deliver up to 2.5 ounces of marijuana per patient and do up to 10 deliveries at a time. Also, a purchasing limit of 10 ounces per month, 10 ounces a month per qualifying patient. Now that's pretty. Wow. I think that's a big step up from what it was before. I'm not sure what it was before, but that's what it is now. Now you have to go back here for this other part of this rule. So the rule, which took effect Tuesday, would allow a dispensary employee to deliver up to 2.5 ounces of weed a day to a medical marijuana card holder. 2.5 ounces a day, and you go back here and you get 10 ounces a month. So that's 2.5 ounces a day, and if you can get 10 ounces a month, I don't know, that doesn't sound like you're not going to get it a day. I mean, anyway. The emergency regulations implemented in the wake of the 2016 law that more tightly oversees the industry were set to expire Friday. Also Tuesday, the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs said it will not close the 98 marijuana businesses across the state before December 31st if they have no state license, but have received authorization from the local municipality. It is the latest development as regulators comply with a judge's order that stopped them from imposing a deadline for unlicensed facilities to close. Laura spokesman David Harns said December 31st is not a new deadline, but it does offer some degree of certainty to the 98 businesses. The deal was prompted in part by concerns from the city of Lansing, which had sued before issuing the 10 dispensaries later Tuesday. All told, the state has licensed 67 medical marijuana businesses, including 40 provisioning centers where cardholders will be able to buy the product. Well, that's all I got on that one. I don't really have much to say about it. Again, some of the people that stuck their neck out to have dispensaries for patients that didn't have caregivers, through all the thick and thin over the years, some of those people are not going to be licensed, and eventually they will get shut down. I don't know what kind of new rules are going to come in January with the new administration, but Lansing is still mostly run by people that will pretty much try to snub any attempt at reversing any of this corporate takeover bullshit that the Michigan Medical Marijuana Facilities Licensing Act of 2016 pretty much ushered in. And well, that's all I got on this. Tune in. I'm about to do another clip talking about what to expect in the legalization.